What's up, Scoop Podcast? I'm your host, Erica Kruppen. And on today's episode, we are going to talk about a lot of things. It's like a hodgepodge of stuff. For you guys, it's only been a week since I've last recorded. But for me, it's actually been a couple weeks. So I have not been in front of this microphone in a hot minute. We're going to talk about how I am sleep deprived and the dramatic conversation that I had with my husband last night about our sleeping vibes. He sleeps a certain way. I don't sleep because of the way he sleeps. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So I did bring up the topic of potentially sleeping in separate beds. What? Oh my gosh, our relationship is over, right? That's it. We might as well sign the D papers because I want to sleep in separate beds. That's not the case. I did have to reassure him that I love him very much. And when I sleep more, I love him more. Can you feel me? Can you feel me? When you are well rested, right? Do you feel like you love your partner just a little bit more? We're also going to talk about the unfortunate event of a gate being left open last Friday. I was having a coffee cup full day on Friday. That is actually the words of my friend Christina from Puppy Poo Patrol. I was having a coffee cup full day, and then I wasn't. So we're going to talk about that happening. We're going to talk about the ramifications that happened from the gate being left open and the dogs being let out. I did have to terminate an employee, or I chose to terminate an employee over that. I'm not going to get into too many personal details as, I don't want to give you guys all of the stuff, right? I have to save something for Patreon. Just kidding. I don't have a Patreon yet, but the question has been asked. Am I going to start a Patreon? Would I think about starting a Patreon? I think about it. I think about doing a lot of things. So if you guys are listening to this and you're like, I would like to know some more juicy details, behind the scenes stuff, things that you don't really want to necessarily talk about super publicly, let me know, because I did create a Patreon. It's not live yet. I haven't released it. I'm still kind of like figuring out the logistics of it all, but it's an option. We're also going to talk about, hey, I got to hire a new staff member. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about my job listing verbiage. So if you're interested in hiring and you're kind of like, oh, I don't know, I'm not really too sure what I need to write on it, I can tell you what I'm writing and kind of give you like an idea and directions. And then I'll also tell you how my hiring process goes. Now, this is how I do things. Everybody does things differently, but if you're interested in hearing about how I do this, stay tuned. I had to raise my seat up. I was a little bit too low. But all right, so let's talk about being sleep deprived. As you guys know, sleep is incredibly important. And for those of you that are not a spring chicken, I'm not a spring chicken. These lights I have in front of me may create the appearance of no wrinkles, but I do in fact have wrinkles because I'm 35, almost 36, and I need sleep. I'm active. I do lots of things. I need my frickin' rest. And my husband and I have been together for 12 years, sleeping in the same bed for 12 years, because we moved in together very quickly. When you know, baby. And I haven't slept well in 12 years. So, today it was my final breaking point, and I had a full meltdown, and I said we need to sleep in separate beds. And he did not respond very well at first, because I think as any maybe husband or partner would feel like, oh my gosh, my wife, my partner doesn't want to be around me. That's not the case. I do want to be around him, and I want the time that we spend together to be more quality. But I'm so tired and I'm so sleep deprived that I can't enjoy him. I can't enjoy doing my social media. I can't enjoy watching a TV show without falling asleep. I can't even enjoy driving in my truck without wanting to pull over and take a nap. Now, this isn't quality. This isn't a quality of life. And for a while, I was thinking something was wrong with me. I went to the doctor. I've gotten blood work done. I've gotten panels done. I got an EKG done. I've been taking the vitamins. I've been drinking the water. I've been working out. I've been doing all of the things. I've even been taking naps during the day. And I asked my doctor, I said, is it normal for somebody to be as healthy as me, as active as me, to physically need to take a nap? And she said, not really. It's not really normal or good that you're that tired, because it's not like, oh, I'm a little bored, I'm going to lay down and take a nap. No, I need to take a nap. I can't keep my eyes open. I can't formulate sentences. I can't think. So I have to go lay down. And there's been times where I pulled over in my truck and I've taken a nap in a park. What? You guys are going to catch me on the news. I'm going to get abducted and I'm going to be on the news missing because somebody's going to find me and kidnap me. I really hope that doesn't happen. But anyways, let me back to it. So I had the conversation with my husband. He wasn't very receptive. It didn't really go well in the beginning, but then, we had a couple more conversations and I full on broke down crying. Ugly cry, as one does when they're at their wits' end. And I'm getting my own bed. I don't exactly know how we're going to do it. I don't know if we're going to put another bed here in the bedroom or if I'm going to move into the basement. I don't know how it's going to work, but we're starting the process of it. And we're going to test. We're going to test it out to see if I'm sleeping better. And if not, if it's not him and I'm just being over dramatic, I may go get a sleep study done to see if there is another underlining issue. The sole reason of me telling you this is because sleep is important. If you're not getting the sleep that you need, the brain fog is real. The weight is going to stay on. You're going to make poor decisions because you're not able to really think clearly. And sometimes making decisions for yourself can feel very selfish and it can feel very hard to do because we don't want to hurt the other people around us. We don't want to have to inconvenience other people around us. But there's sometimes that other people, not maliciously, they're not inconveniencing us, because that's when it seems like it's the hardest to, when there's somebody that's inconveniencing you, but it's not cold-hearted. It's not like they're doing it on purpose. It's just who they are as a person is an inconvenience to you. It's hard to have those conversations, but by you not having the conversation and by not doing it, you're inconveniencing yourself. Like I haven't slept well for almost 12 years. 12 years, you guys. And I in my heart, I knew that I wanted to sleep separately a long time ago from him. And I really enjoyed the times that we slept separately because I got a very, very good sleep. But like, how was I going to tell my husband that I can't sleep in the same bed with him? And then what are other people going to think about us not sleeping in the same bed because it's not the norm? At a certain point in your life, you just have to not care what other people think about what you're doing and who you are as a person. You have to only care about yourself. And this leads me into imposter syndrome. This leads me into our business. It all kind of correlates with each other because there's times where in the beginning when I started my business, people were making fun of me. And then what I'm talking about right now is actually inspired by David. I seen him post an imposter syndrome thread in the group that I'm not allowed to talk about publicly on social media because we're not allowed to let anybody else in it right now. Sorry, you guys. But he brought up the fact about imposter syndrome, people making fun of us for the industry that we're in. And if you're listening to this and this has happened to you, it's happened to me as well. There's certain people that you might have to cut out of your life in order to achieve the next level of goals that you're trying to achieve. Because there's some people that don't get it, they don't respect you, and they don't even respect themselves. So of course they're going to talk trash about other people. And it sucks to leave those people in the dust because those are the people that you know, that's your friend group, and it's lonely by yourself. You guys, I don't have a lot of people around me that I talk to on a daily basis. I have a handful of people that are in my inner circle, and then the rest of them I keep on the outsides because our values don't align anymore. The way that I carry myself doesn't align with them anymore, and they don't align with me, and vice versa, right? And I'm not fun to certain people anymore because I go to bed by 9:15. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I talk about business. I listen to business books and I listen to podcasts. And at any given time, I'm thinking about stuff that's like the logical or analytical. And it's hard for me to just watch a dumb meme on Facebook or watch some stupid, idiotic thing on Netflix. Granted, sometimes I do, right? But I'm not going to spend too much time watching that type of stuff because it's a waste of my time. And in this life, we can make more money, we can gain more experiences, but we cannot get more time back. So it's important for us to not give our time to the people that are naysayers and they want to poo poo on our dreams and our hard efforts. And the imposter syndrome thing is real. I mean, I get it too. I feel like, oh, your business is crap. Oh, you do the social media thing, and why are you even doing it? Nobody even cares. You're not even qualified to talk about this type of stuff, which is crazy. Which is crazy because I've started a business. I have grown a business. I've hired and I have fired. I have made 6 figures. Granted, I wouldn't be able to talk about how to make 7 figures because I haven't been there. I get it too. And it's just because we get up in our own heads, we start naysaying ourselves, we start listening to the other people that are around us that don't know our heart and our soul, and they don't see the potential and they don't see the vision. So you just need to lean into yourself, lean into your vision, lean into your goals, and let that move you forward. And surround yourself with like-minded people that are going to uplift you. Don't hang around those people that are trying to bring you down, because I'm telling you what, here's an example. I had a pack of strawberries. They were beautiful and delicious looking, and there was one of them that was moldy. The 3 strawberries that were touching the moldy strawberry were also becoming moldy. The other ones around it were not moldy yet. It was just the 3 around the moldy one. So that bad strawberry, bad apple, whatever, is going to infect you and it's going to bring you down. So you might just have to say, sayonara, suckers. I'm moving on up in life. I'm leaving you in the dust. Let's talk about gates being left open. Gates being left open, it literally is one of the worst things that you can do as a professional pooper scooper. Either the dogs make it home safely or they don't. Either the customer is going to be a little bit upset with you or they are going to be absolutely devastated with the outcome and severely upset, and there's a lot of liability. You could really be in some trouble if these dogs don't make it home. So securing a gate is very, very important. I've been in business for 5 years, and there's a couple things that I am doing differently now to help protect us and help protect the dog. 1, if a gate does not have a proper latch on it, we're not servicing the property anymore. I'm not being held liable because your painter bucket fell over and your gate fell. The screwdriver that's holding your gate closed decided that it moved out of the ground and now your gate open. I'm not being held liable for that stuff anymore. Been there, done that. If your latch is wiggle wobbly and it's not working, I'm not being held liable for that either. I'm no longer servicing the property. Also, with Jobber, which is really cool. You know, Jobber is the CRM I use to run, grow, and manage my small poopa scooper business. If you if you want your 14-day free trial, go ahead and click my link down in this description and check Jobber out. But for those of you that are using Jobber, if you go over to my YouTube channel, I recently made a video about this going over job forms. Job forms are very, very customizable. I have a dedicated job form for a locked and secured gate. So when we're in the visit, before I go ahead and close out that job, I have to click on the little job form option that's, halfway through the profile. I can take a picture of the closed gate and email that to the customer and then complete the job form. It's really nice because the homeowner gets a notification that the visit is completed and their gate has also been closed. Then it also saves it in the profile. So say for instance, somebody goes through that gate, somebody that lives there, a kid or a landscaper or whoever, the pool boy, leaves that gate open, we're not getting blamed for it because we have documented and we have time-stamped that we close that gate. We can't control what happens after we leave. So this is another security lever or buffer, whatever you want to call it, put in place to help reduce liability on our end. Because it's happened to me before. It's happened to where a customer called and said that my scooper didn't close the gate. Scooper said they closed the gate. Homeowner says they didn't. Dogs got out. What am I supposed to do? Who am I supposed to believe? You know what I'm saying? What am I supposed to do? Now we have proof. Now I know for sure if something like that happens again and my scooper's like, no, I closed the gate, I took a picture, I sent it. I can 100% have confidence when I talk to that homeowner, letting them know that we are not at fault. And about termination, there's some things that I can teach, right? I can teach somebody how to scoop better. I can help people work on their attendance. But I have a zero tolerance policy for gates being left open. So if a gate is left open, it's automatic termination because that's how serious I am about the gate situation. I'm so very serious. You enter the property, you close the gate. When you exit the property, you close the gate. There's no exceptions with that. And that's something I'm very, very strict about. And unfortunately, a gate was left open last week and I had to terminate a staff member. This was a difficult conversation. I can't say that I'm the best at letting people go. It's not something that I love to do. I don't enjoy this. So if you are in this type of situation and you need to terminate somebody and you don't really know how to do it, I am including a resource down in the show notes or description through Jobber. Jobber actually has an entire thread on different ways to terminate somebody nicely. Sometimes you don't terminate somebody nicely, right? They messed up and you're like, get the hell out of here right now. Bye, Felicia, whatever. But if you want to terminate somebody nicely and you need some verbiage to help coach you through that, go ahead and click that link down in the description and go ahead and check that out. Not that I necessarily enjoy letting people go. I really don't. But this is how I like to structure it. I run my business out of my home. So it's not like we have an office building that we can meet up at. I'm not going to bring somebody to my house to like terminate them. So what I do is our main form of communication is through Slack. That's how I communicate with everybody. We do a lot of text messaging or voice memos. So what I do is I send them a message letting them know what the issue is. We've already talked about the issue, letting them know we need to have a conversation and it's not going to be a pleasant one. So prepare yourself, and it's about the status of your employment. That's usually how I start off. And then it preps them. It prepares them for the difficult conversation that's going to happen. I believe I do say we're going to have a difficult conversation. So they're like, okay, this is happening. And then when you are letting them go, you need to have all your ducks in a row. Why are you letting them go? Is it because of attendance? Is it because of quality? Is it because they did something that you need to let them go for? List all of that stuff off. But you also need to check with your state and figure out what your rules and regulations are for your state. But this is just kind of how I do it. Let them know all of that, ask them some questions. Depending on how it goes, like they could either be really upset with you and vocalize that and express that, or they could be calm, cool, and collected, and it goes, I guess, smooth as it can go. It just depends on, what the situation and what the scenario is. But I like to have a script in front of me because I get off track and I get flustered, and I need like a something to bring me back. And then also, before you have this conversation, before you do all of that, just in case somebody is rambunctious and you don't know what they're going to do, take all of their access away. So if they have access to your CRM, or if they have access to your email, or they have access to, the things, right? They have access to the things. Make sure you take all of that away before you have the conversation with them, because you never know. You never know what's going to end up happening. I learned that from the hospital through U of M. There was a couple of people that would get terminated, and they would know they were getting ready to get terminated because all of a sudden their badge wouldn't work or they couldn't log into their email. And then as soon as that happened, one of the supervisors was like, hey, we need to talk. And then we knew. We all knew what was going down at that point. So that's stressful, right? You got to let somebody go. Your heart's pounding out of your chest. You got to figure out those emotions, deal with them. Are you happy? Are you sad? You feel remorseful? Are you relieved? Whatever. Whatever it is. And then you have to figure out what the heck you're going to do. Do you need to hire again? Who's going to take over their job? So let's talk about hiring. When you're going to hire somebody, it's good to have clarity on what you're looking for. what kind of staff member. You don't want to just hire somebody that has a pulse, right? Because that's not going to be good for business. You have to know what you were looking for and then what you're able to offer them. What are you putting on the table other than just pay is going to make them want to come work for you. So think about the benefits that you can offer them, the perks. A lot of times we as small businesses, we really can't afford health insurance or large health insurance policies, but maybe you can offer a gym membership at Planet Fitness. Maybe you can offer some type of PTO, like 1 day a quarter, right? Or a paid vacation, like a short period of paid vacation, just something. And you might be like, well, I can't afford that. Okay. You might not be able to afford it right now, but if you raise your rates, because your customers essentially should be paying for this, if you raise your rates, you should be able to hopefully be able to offer them competitive pay. You should be able to offer to buy them a pair of scooping boots for them to wear while they're scooping. You should be able to offer, or what about a paid time off? Something I'm working on right now is a simple IRA match up to 3%. That's what I'm got in the works right now for all my staff members. How cool is that? They can contribute. I'm going to match them up to 3%, and I'm helping them save for the future. That's dope. I love that. And you think I'm paying for it? Heck no. Our customers are paying for it. That's part of what they're paying. And I'm just here to facilitate it. And there's a lot of different places that you can look to hire. You can talk to staff that you already have. I tend to try to stay away from like family and friends, because once you hire somebody as like a family or friend, you change that personal relationship. You're going to change that dynamic over into a professional one. And a lot of times it's a lot easier to let people that you know or love or care about take advantage of you. And it's hard to speak up and have the conversations, or because they are friends and family with you, you feel more comfortable stepping over boundaries, and you can be way more aggressive than you would with somebody that you have no connection with other than just a professional type connection. So think about that. I personally am not hiring any family or friends on a regular basis. Yes, I will bring them on to like work with me a day or two here, but as for regular working, no thanks. No thanks. Not interested. And as for where I'm posting I'm posting it on Indeed, which I learned that from Cole. Indeed, there's a little trick with that, right? So it's $18 per application, but you have up to 72 hours to decline that person. So you definitely want to make sure that you stay on top of it, because the last time I was hiring, I forgot about it, and I had like $100 and something worth of charges because those applications processed. And I didn't even hire anybody out of those applicants. So you definitely have to be diligent and stay on top of it. You can also post on Facebook. And this is what my description is like. So the job title is part-time dog waste removal technician. The company, my business, the location. I put my primary location in there. The position type, which is part-time. And then as for the job description, it says, are you a responsible and motivated individual who enjoys working outdoors? Are you passionate about creating a cleaner and more enjoyable environment for both dogs and their owners? If so, we have an exciting opportunity for you. We are currently seeking a part-time dog waste removal technician to join our dedicated team. That was the intro. Then the responsibilities. Perform dog waste removal services for residential and commercial clients. Utilize your own vehicle to travel to various locations within the designated service area. Maintain a clean and professional appearance while representing the company. Provide exceptional customer service and address any clients or concerns, which they would address them, and then obviously they would filter them on up to me. But sometimes they're the front line and they deal with it right away, and then they need to report back to me or to our assistant. Ensure accurate tracking and documentation of the services provided. That means they're going to clock in and clock out of every job. If there's specific notes that need to be taken, that will be put in the note section in Jobber, which we have to do that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Demonstrate a strong work ethic and exceptional attendance records. Attendance is a must. I need my people to be here because we're a team. And if they don't show up, it's not like we just skip that service. And I hate moving services from one day to another, especially when it's nice and sunny out and not a cloud in the sky. If it's raining, strong winds, snowy, or situations like that, that's fine. That's completely fine. I don't mind moving at that point. But when it's beautiful out, no, it makes me so angry. And if somebody calls in because their big toe hurts, then I have to go out and scoop. I don't have that confidence to know that I can go ahead and schedule meetings. I can go out and network within the community, because what if I set up an event, so and so calls in, then I have to cancel what I was doing. I don't like that. I might as well just go out and scoop, you know? And last but not least, utilize sales skills to promote additional services to generate business growth. Now, when they're out and about, I really want to work on route density. So I want them to be able to interact with people in the community. If a neighbor walks across the street, I want them to be able to hold a conversation, make eye contact. Hey, yeah, this is the service. This is what we're about. If you want pricing, go ahead and call that number on the card or email this email address. And be able to hold a conversation randomly, because people will just come up to you and ask questions. And I also want them to be able to upsell. If a customer comes out and they're like, hey, my patio kind of smells a little bad, or if they notice that the patio smells bad, they're like, hey, we offer deodorizer. Are you interested in this service? Or, hey, I noticed that there's a lot of dog poop back here. You could really benefit from twice a week scooping. To be able to communicate that with the customer and communicate that with me. Now, the requirements that I need somebody that's 21 and up. I need somebody that's 21 and up, because that's what I need. That's what I need. Possess a valid driver's license and have a reliable vehicle for transportation during work hours. This is something I learned. Make sure that the person's driver's license is fully active, no restrictions, nothing from the past. You also want to make sure that the vehicle that they're using is their vehicle. It's not a shared vehicle, and it doesn't have a bunch of problems. Okay, you got to make sure it's a nice, reliable vehicle if you're going to have them drive their own vehicle. If you are providing the vehicle, perfect, not a big deal. Right now, I can't provide the vehicle because one of my past staff members that had the vehicle got into an accident in the truck, and he was at fault and smashed it, and there was like $9,000 worth of damage. Long story short, my insurance went up. I can't afford to purchase another vehicle and then have an insured driver in there. The business is just cannot sustain it right now until I get one of the other vehicles paid off. Then that's a total different story. They also need to have a working phone for communication and tracking purposes. They do use their own phone with the Jobber app. And they're able to work outside in various weather conditions, because it's Michigan. It could be cold, rain, sleet, snow, hot, all in one damn day. I also would like to have them to have prior sales experience. It's highly desirable, but it isn't a necessity. Once again, I talk about having outstanding attendance records and punctuality. Be able to lift and carry up to 50 pounds. If you guys know that dog poop gets heavy, especially after a nice rain. They also need to be self-motivated and work independently. We work by ourselves. I need somebody that can do their own thing and doesn't need to be told what to do every 5 minutes. And excellent communication skills and interpersonal skills. I'm serious. Even though we work alone, I need for my people to be able to communicate, because they're out there representing us. It's not like they have to be a super social butterfly, but they need to be able to maintain a they need to be able to hold a conversation with people. Now, compensation and benefits between $16 and $20 an hour based upon performance. A simple IRA match up to 3%. Ooh, paid time off, limited working on weekends. Hell yeah, no holidays. No thanks. And bonus pay available for successful recruitment of new employees and customers. I will pay when they get people to play, And that is my job listing. I already have had about 20 people apply. I posted this the day before yesterday, and I'm going to keep going through it. And as time goes on, as I get more experience, I'm going to keep tweaking this, because this sounds good to me right now. But if it's not attracting the right candidates, I may make changes to it as time goes on. But for right now, with my experience, this seems like a pretty solid job posting. And last but not least, how my hiring process goes. So I log on to Indeed or Facebook or whatever. I look at the information. I decide if I want to have a conversation with this person or not. The first conversation is like an intro, a mini conversation, just an introduction. We do it on the phone or on Zoom. If after I have that conversation with them, I feel like I want to push them forward, I see if they want to come and do a ride along with me. And honestly, before I have them come do a ride along, I really should do the background check right then and there because, that would actually probably be safer. So at this point, if you want somebody to come do a ride along with you because they sounded good over the phone, this probably would be a good time to do a background check. But then you have them come do the ride along. I don't have them meet at my house. I meet up at like a local spot where they can park their vehicle. They hop in my truck and we go do a ride along. I usually try to stay close to the house. I mean, most of my houses, the furthest one out is like 30 minutes, so it's not like we're too far from the house. Because if they aren't going to make it a full day or even a half a day and they want to be dropped off, I want to make sure that I'm kind of close to be able to drop them off. But I haven't had anybody that's like, no, no thanks. Drop me off. I've had people show up and then tell me that they left their phone at home and they needed to leave, and they would give me a call back and we can meet up later. And I just told them no thanks. Not interested. But yeah, that's what I do. I have them come scoop with me. I give them a rundown. I show them the app. And then I just have them watch me for a couple of houses. I say, just watch me. If you have questions as we do this, just ask. It might seem a little weird. It might seem a little creepy. You might want to just do stuff, but just observe what I'm doing, how I'm walking the property, how I'm opening the gate, how I'm closing the gate, how I'm communicating with the customer. Just pay attention. And at this point, I try not to talk because when I talk, I get distracted. I can't multitask the best. So the first couple houses, I don't talk. Then the other, I'll do that for one or two houses. Then the third house, I do talk. I do walk through it with them. Then at that point, I have them grab a scooper bucket and I have them mimic what I've been doing. And then I just let them go into the yard and just start scooping. That's it. I ask them, I stay pretty close. I ask them if they have any questions. Usually at this point, they're trying to figure out how to flick the rake. They're trying to figure out how to hold the bucket. They're not able to stay on a grid line or anything like that. So I'm just letting them get the feel for it. Then after those couple yards, like one or two, then I start saying, all right, start walking your grid pattern. Walk the perimeter of your property. I like to walk the perimeter of my property first because that's a problem area for me. When I'm going back and forth doing a grid, right? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. For some reason, I always miss the perimeter. So I walk the perimeter of my property, start at the beginning of the gate, then I start walking my grid pattern back and forth. After the first day, if they seem like I want to push them forward, I'll do that. I'll ask them if they want to come back for another training day. And I usually train for at least a week, maybe 2 weeks. Here's where I drop the ball. I feel like my training process goes pretty good. My follow-up at the 30, 60, and 90 days, I drop the ball with. I don't think that I do the check-ins like I need to. I need to be better about doing that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to work on moving forward. And then when you figure out if you want to hire them or not, you offer them the position. You let them know how much you want to charge. I usually start them off just a little bit lower than what I'm going to normally pay them, just because during the training process, they're going to take a lot longer with the cleans. But once they're up to par, which is an average of 3 houses per hour, then they get bumped up to the rate that they're supposed to get paid. And that shouldn't take more than 90 days, I feel like. I feel like by 90 days, you should be completely up to speed. And if they're not, that's when they got to go. And you should know, if you know that somebody needs to be let go, let them go immediately. Don't drag your feet. It's easier for the both of you guys if you just cut them loose right then and there when you know, and document if they're having attendance issues, if they're having communication issues, if you're getting complaints. document all of this stuff. You have to. You got to take a couple minutes to just do it. It's a non-negotiable when you're hiring, all right? Because you don't want things to get all willy-nilly and get things out of control, and then you're like, I don't even have control of my business right now. What is going on? And then you beat yourself up because you're not in control of the business and all the things. So that's my advice. Don't beat yourself up if you don't hire the right person right away. It takes time to build up those skills, to get the right person in there. And sometimes you might have to hire several people and let several people go until you find that right person. Just keep going and make it a part of your schedule where you're consistently looking for new talent. You're consistently marketing your business to grow it. If you stop and then you try to do it when you're in an emergency or in a pinch, that's when you're gonna make a desperate choice, and that's not good for anybody, for nobody. It's not good. Not good. It's not very good, but you know what I hope is very good? I hope that this podcast is good. I hope that it brought you some value. I hope that you guys liked it. And if you did, you know what to do. If it's on YouTube, give me a heart, give me a like, leave a comment. For the love of God, please leave a comment. And if you're listening to this on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcast, the things where I can get reviews, if you see an option where you can leave a review, could you? Could you do it? Could you help me out? Because that's very beneficial to the algorithm. It's beneficial to me. It offers me some type of feedback to know what I'm doing good, what I'm doing wrong, all of the things. I appreciate you guys so much. And I drop a new episode every Monday. And until next time, bye.